It's time for Breaking Bread with Papa. Hey, don't you know? Hey, it's also a show. Hey.
What do you think of our set here?
I love your set. I love this set. I love that you have James Gandolfini back here because I have a horrible story about that, about my only interaction with him. When I say horrible story, it's not to his ness of it all. It's to me being an idiot in college. Can I tell you the story?
Yes, please.
Okay, so
This is our first. Can I just put a button on this, or hang a ribbon on it, or shine a light on it? This is our first set related story.
really,
Yeah. People have here, they talk about the bread or whatever, but this is the first one actually taking the.
thank you.
This is your director's eye.
Thank you so much. I really
Thank you.
appreciate
Thank you for
that.
being here.
You know what? Do you want to hang out later?
100%.
Okay, good. So I'm at SCAD, Savannah College of Art and Design, and I'm there during like film festival. Okay, they have this really cool film festival where all these like famous people come in. They'll do a question and answer period with the acting department and all this stuff. And at the time I was a freshman, I believe. And at the time I was going to be a film major. I was like, I don't want to act anymore. I want to tell stories, And so I was told by somebody that in the acting building, James Gandolfini is giving a little Q&A. And I'm like, oh, cool. Let me go up there. Let me check it out. And so I'm wearing flip-flops and a sweater. and everybody in there is like beautifully dressed, And so I stand up and I go to the back, and I'm like, oh God, I'm wearing glasses and all this stuff. And so right before James Gandolfini comes in, the moderator, his phone goes off and his phone is buzzing. It's ringing and he looks around and he goes, somebody turn this off. And there's a kid behind him and he's like, I got it. He takes his phone, runs away, comes back. The phone is off. I'm like, okay, problem solved.
Yeah.
And so James Gandolfini comes in. There's a Q&A. I mean, sorry, they're talking for 30 minutes talking about acting, and like James is giving this great advice of he's like, whenever he looks out of a window, he always pictures something going on out there, so his eyes are a little interesting, in The Sopranos and stuff. He's like, you could picture like maybe somebody's changing or like someone's walking their dog and you hope they don't pee on your yard or whatever, right? He's giving little like have something inside your mind as an actor. I'm like, that's great.
Yeah.
What great information. And at the end of it, there's a little Q&A. And so people are raising their hands and they're asking questions. And this kid that was behind the moderator, who took his phone before, who this moderator clearly trusts, who took his phone before, had his hand raised. And he's sitting directly behind the moderator. And the whole time, the moderator's looking over here, and the moderator's looking over there, and he's calling on everybody but the kid right behind him. And I'm like, oh, clearly he can't see this person behind him wanting to ask a question. So I raise my hand, and I'm at a college where people pay for this, and this is not my major at the time, and I don't know anybody in the room.
Just roaming in flip-flops.
Yeah, I'm just roaming in flip-flops. Yeah, that's right. Talking to freaking Tony Soprano, and I raise my hand, and they call on me, and James Gandolfini looks at me, and he nods, and I'm like, I'm sorry. It's just... this guy's had his hand raised for so long, I don't think you could see him. He's right behind you. I just want to pass my question over to this guy. And what I didn't know was that this guy had a reputation.
Oh, no.
Of perhaps maybe not asking the best questions.
Oh, no.
And the college was purposefully not calling on this guy. and I was like, what? And so I don't remember what the question was, but I just remember the way that the moderator looked at me and the way everybody in that room looked
They
at
all
me
knew.
like I was the biggest dumbass on planet Earth. Because frankly, I was.
Yeah.
Anyway, we and at the end of it, everybody gets up and they walk away, and and one of my friends comes over to me. He's like, oh, hey, Daniel, how's it going? He clasps my hand, he leans over and he whispers in my ear, he goes, they purposefully didn't pick him. And then he's like, you should probably, be careful. And so he goes away. I go out to the hallway and I see James Gandolfini walking. He's approaching, right?
Yeah.
And he's got this like nice gold Rolex, and he's very tall. He's surprisingly tall. And he walks over and he pats me on the back and he goes, "Nice going, bud." And he walks, and I was like, "Oh no!"
Oh, the best.
And what's the craziest like uppercut to my jaw was I think he died like 2 months later.
Oh.
So I had the chance to ask this man anything I wanted. And I'm gonna give it
to Crazy Joe over there.
It was all alley and no oop. You know what I'm saying? It was like I passed the ball and just what a mess.
Oh, brutal.
And if that person is listening right now, sorry. That's just what I was told. Whatever.
Yeah.
But dude, what a mess. So that's my story with James Gandolfini. So whenever I see him or hear
Good first story for our set.
Yeah, thank
Good
you.
first story for our set.
God.